Alright, well, I made a bit of a blooper. I made little bit of a mistake. I thought if for some reason they were referring to this fishtail thing, the axis of the eye. The upper lid arches high inside the socket, while the lower lid curves to the outside of the socket. This is what he's talking about. He gets technical. It's hard to kind of, there's no, arrows pointing exactly, but this is what he's talking about. The axis of the eye. The upper lid arches high inside the socket, while the lower lid curves to the outside of the socket. So there's this kind of angle going on right here. That's why he drew this line. I guess that's the axis is what he's talking about. So yeah, just remember it, and it kind of touches on right here too, because it follows that same kind of path where this goes down that way and this bottom goes up that way. I was kind of right. But yeah, okay. So he really draws like stone statues. All right. And we'll go to the eye position. Side view starts on a line drawn up from the nostril wing. This is the nostril wing. So let's practice that. And we'll use the same piece of paper we did here. We'll just split this up. There's a separate panel. Side profile shot. Okay, which you'll see in close-ups all the time, whether you're storyboarding or like in movies or in comics. And let's see here. So what we'll do, where do you start? Good question. Let's do the front of the face first. So again, that egg, we're only showing this part of the egg, so a little bit flatter. The brow line, it's going to be slightly curved. Okay, so the nose is going to come out here. Then you have the indentation. He's got kind of a hook nose in a way. So this is like a backward S. And we got to draw that nostril. The main line for the nostril bone. And then the wing, which is very hard-edged in this instance, like a machine part. And so the line, so use your pencil or use another pencil or use any kind of straight edge. Alright. It's not a real spell book, it's just for my D&D game, which is my other channel, Solo Quester. Check it out. From the wing of the nose, try to get as much of the edge as you can, straight up. That's pretty straight. Eyeball it a little bit. Right there is good. Ooh, a little bit too much pressure there. Okay. The eye position side view starts on the line drawn up from the nostril wing. So this is pretty much where the eyelid and the eyeball meet. So we'll do that first curve there. The eyelids, this overlaps. Again, you're just looking at this for reference. I don't have to look at it quite as much because I'm used to kind of drawing this stuff. That's years of experience. If you don't have the experience, just keep looking at the reference. And you'll pick it up the more you do it eventually. You'll remember some things. Okay. And here, looking at the reference, is just kind of blacked off there. So yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. That's pretty good. Maybe not perfect, but pretty good. And the rest is a lot of shading. A lot of shading. And you just use that. You just shade what you see there using light, keeping it real sketchy, light pressure, quick lines, back and forth. On the eyelid too. There. Again, I'm not fully committing. I'm just kind of feeling it out. And he's got shadows all over the place. He's going for more realism. In comics, you probably wouldn't have this much shadow necessarily, and they wouldn't be shaded lines really necessarily in traditional Western comics, unless you're doing an Alex Ross technique where he sticks to realism. If you don't know who Alex Ross is, shame on you. Look it up. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm not committing too much. I don't have to. This is just practice. You know, there's no real reason to really finalize these lines because, you know, I'm not looking to get them published on anything or make them a major piece of art or anything. So if I feel like it, okay, just for a little bit more pressure, just to see how much it'll pop out in the future if I ever do an angle like this, which I have. I drew in one of my comics when I was in high school, the Wolverine side profile shot. But now looking back on it, I wish I had a little bit more depth, kind of like this, to make the side angle pop out a little bit more. Comic seems to flatten everything out using thinner lines, not so many lines to make things shaded. Or fewer lines, I should say. And the shadow even goes over the eyeball. So yeah, main thing to take away, the wing of the nostril. You know, you can use a ruler, but just kind of wing it with a straight edge. And that's why it's good to practice sketching straight lines. And that's a good rule of thumb. Well, this concludes this part of this. This was, I believe, a 5-part series about the eye and the face. So I might take a little breather and then come back to it, doing other parts of the book. 10 seconds a day. That's all it takes. Keep on drawing.